Alright, so the title is Uncomfortable Conversations. So, listen, whatever we say, I don't want no problems. Alright? I don't want nobody wives, ex-wives, girlfriends.
How uncomfortable we going with the conversation?
Comfortable.
Stay inspired.
Ooh, I like that.
I believe in killing.
Alright, y'all, this is another episode of Inspyard Cigar Stems, and this is going to be interesting. So, before we get started, like we always do, it's like a little tradition we like to do. We like to introduce the wine and cigars that we are drinking and smoking tonight. And tonight's wine this is by Josh Sellers. It's a 2019 Cabernet Sauvignon and also a Sauvignon Blanc 2020. So these are young wines. They do pair with cigars well, but it's still young, so you have to give these a little time. Sometimes you might have to let them sit in the glass a little bit, but it's good. As far as cigars goes, I am smoking this is a GK Gold cigar. I'm gonna let Angie tell me what kind of cigar I'm smoking because she knows this a lot better than I do.
That's right. So he is smoking Maduro. Like I said, it's GK Gold Cigars. Shout out to Greg Ellis and Roderick. Thank you so much for the cigars. I'm smoking tobacco. I decided to go a little different, a little Drew Estates.
I don't think I've never seen
It's
this
special. Actually, Eric actually put me onto my first tobacco, and I'm enjoying this beautiful Maduro.
You know the vibes.
You know the vibes. Let's get it.
All right, so everybody, especially got kids, teenagers. Everybody's had that uncomfortable conversation at least once, or it's building up to it.
Right.
Sex.
Right.
Maturity. Marriage. What else?
Bills, responsibility.
Yeah, that too.
So the one that we need to start having
Relationships.
Credit.
Oh yeah, credit and
Relationship.
finance.
Credit.
Yep, building relationships, character,
Networking.
Shout outs to my 16-year-old son who is our film man tonight.
Yes.
And there's no conversation that we haven't had that we might discuss tonight.
We about to come
He about to get baptized in some conversation. All right?
Listen.
All
All
right.
right. So first question. I'm just gonna ask this, and we just roll into it. Are women the new men nowadays?
Yes.
Y'all
Not
want
on
to have that
purpose.
conversation?
That's a conversation that needs to be had, though.
I would say not on purpose.
Not on purpose.
No, it's by design.
Exactly.
It's by design.
We're at a state now where, we have our own businesses. Some of us have been through failed relationships. Some of us are doing other things. So it's natural for us to go ahead on and just take everything over because we already doing it.
I'm going to have to take my shades off for this conversation right now.
Please do. Unless you in your eye.
Because
Here we go.
women are winning in every aspect right now. Women are the new men, especially in relationships. They dictate what's going to happen in a relationship and what's not going to happen in a relationship. Y'all always had the power, but what y'all have figured out is that you have the power now.
No, they had the money behind the power. That's the difference.
Really? Do you really feel like it's just the money? Is it just the money? That's my question.
No, you had the power from the beginning, and then you had the capital to supplant.
So is that because of our
rule.
education, our going out there and securing the bag? Is that what you're
Oh
saying?
no, black women are the highest minority class of graduating college people in the country.
Okay.
They graduating at a ridiculous rate.
Okay,
Black men
of course.
are like totally lacking in that. That's not completely our fault, but it is partly our fault, right?
I'm going to say in more this aspect right here. Women have what all men want to start out a relationship.
True. Yes.
Women do what?
Have
Yeah.
what all men want.
Which is
Most women got
Which
time.
is the sexual aspect, the physical aspect of a relationship.
okay. I just wanted to be
Once you start getting that physical aspect, you start learning more and more things about them. Like they're well educated, they're very good with money, which is one of the biggest aspects that we have problems in.
Is that the
Money
most
situations.
attractive thing? The fact that we can handle bills, money, we know how to run a household.
That is a very attractive thing. Think about back in the day, your grandparents.
My
The
mom.
men worked, the women did what? That daddy came home and brought what to you?
The money.
He brought that check to you,
Right.
take care of the bills.
Okay.
So y'all have always had that aspect above us. If you look at credit, men don't look at credit. We just go spend. Women look at the bigger aspect of it.
True.
How is this gonna hurt me later on in life? You know what I'm saying? Let's build this, let's build that. You know what I'm saying? Like men, married women, usually y'all come to what? The better credit aspect.
Yes.
So we lean on y'all more than we lean on ourselves. That's the power that y'all have that most of them don't understand that they have.
I received that. Do you receive that? Because I received that.
I think most educated women actually know they have that power and they exercise that. The problem is, I think we as men sometimes get a little
Beside yourself.
intimidated by women because a lot of men, I've known successful women to say, a dude has broken up with me because he said I don't need him.
That's the intimidation factor.
That was.
But
That's
why
the
did
insecurity.
That was the
Crazy.
end of my marriage.
No, man. Women
Was
give
it?
like,
But
y'all be
because
giving up on
sometimes we
intimidation.
have to
feel
be
like I
that
need
way.
No.
But we
y'all
don't
be giving
want
up-
to be.
y'all giving up
But
intimidation.
trust
Wow.
me, we don't want to be. I want nothing more than for my man to be that man. But until I understand, or until I have that, you understand what I'm saying? I have to do what I have to do, and I can't stop because I might be talking. You
Let
know?
me ask you a
I can't
question
be creeping
though.
on eggshells.
Let me
That
ask you
I
a
will
question
not
though.
do.
How long did you give that man the time to show that though?
He's gonna show me that when I meet him. He's gonna show me what he's gonna be. It's just oftentimes I find out I wasn't paying attention. A man is gonna show me what he wanna give me when I first meet him. But it's up to me to
Well,
decide.
not all the time. Not all the time.
Not all the time. Don't
Because sometimes you gotta build up to it.
Because
Right.
not all the
Yeah.
time.
Some of the good guys now are not showing you all their full hand because they're so used to being
Play.
yes.
Yeah.
So we gotta also too create a time that says, hey, this is the time span of we're gonna really get to know each other. This is the time where I'm gonna really get to see what you are about because eventually you cannot only hide for so
Women don't
long.
figure that out till later
So
on
you
down the
have-
line after the breakup.
No, they don't. No, that's sometimes.
We
We get signed before that.
Wow.
We get signed before that. We just
I'm gonna turn my head on that one. Wow,
Every
really?
Yeah, I
single
should do.
person
That's what it is. Every time.
sees red flags.
Yeah.
If you say that you don't see a red flag,
You a lie.
either you are completely idiotic or you just a person who wants to lie to themselves. Every person sees a red flag. You be like, shoot.
But you try to
Which is
plant
only
red
one
flags.
red flag because it outweighs, it has a benefit to it.
Right.
Yeah.
You're trying to see what the benefit is. Now, to your point, you're saying that you are in control of your own businesses and whatnot, but when you meet a man, what's the expectation? What do you look for?
When I at
He gotta
least
be
want
balling.
you to be on my. No. He don't have to be balling, but if he on my level, I can teach him how to get where I'm at. Don't.
That's what I'm saying. What if he- what if
Yeah,
he
but
not
it's
though?
not on your level.
You know,
He don't have
Yeah.
to be, he doesn't have to be on my level monetarily. He doesn't have to be because everybody's not gonna be on the same level. You understand what
But
I'm
what's
saying?
happening nowadays is social media.
But
you
his
know,
drive,
like, women
His
just
drive, how
tell
the
you.
way you know what I'm saying, he handles
But-
himself.
So in
that
short
don't
term,
matter.
you're saying potential.
Right, but
His
potential
potential
with
that he has.
action.
Hold on, but
You have to see the
potential.
potential
Hold on,
there.
potential is only potential is the most
It's
dangerous
something-
word in
It's
the
something that ain't
world.
happened yet.
But I
Potential
said
is the most
with
dangerous word in
action.
the world. It
Why
has to
you
be
say that?
because shit,
It's
I can
actually
see
happened.
potential in a whole. You can see potential in a stock. That ain't no mean it's gonna goddamn rise.
Yeah.
I can see potential in the whole. Potential is dangerous. Potential without action is I don't even want to deal with you. Without no action with your potential, that's nothing. That's like expectations without conversation. You can't expect nothing from one single person if you
So
haven't conversed
is
with
it
this
safer to go in it
That's
with
true.
no expectations? I feel like it is. It's safer to go in.
Yeah, I think
keep
with me
open mind.
now.
You gotta-
I'm not saying you're not to have them, but if you start to have them and you don't converse that with the person you're dealing with,
You're gonna have
then
problems.
you're
setting
smart.
myself up.
But
for
see,
failure.
a lot of your stances on everything that we talked about so far, you come from a personal place of it, but you gotta give the person benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
And a lot of times we barrel ourselves and we pile ourselves up into a corner and we don't give that person the benefit of the doubt.
That's true.
Because you're thinking about what your last chick did or how your last chick that made money treated you. You might meet someone else that makes the same amount of money and it'd be a total different dynamic.
Let me ask my women a question right here, okay?
Like you said,
Baggage.
you
Baggage.
this is a conversation
I tend not to
often
blame
given
my legs.
all the time, is that a lot of people already have their fixated expectations on a situation or a person before you allow the situation to even take place.
Right.
So you and I could be having a conversation because I'm so used to X, Y, Z talking at me in a certain tone, I can't even hear what you're saying because my mind, my expectations of what you're about to say, is already there.
Right.
So to your point of going in, yeah, we should go sometimes with no expectations or not the same expectations that we had the last person.
Let me say this right here, okay? Let's get back on the financial portion of it, okay?
Please.
Women are making more money than men these days because you see more women in CEO positions on their own businesses more than you see anybody else. When that gentleman working at McDonald's comes up and try to have a conversation with you, you turn him away because you see he's working at McDonald's. But here's the thing right here. You don't go into the questions with that individual like, hey, I know you're working at McDonald's, but what's your future goals? What are you doing? I'm in school. I'm trying to build my own business. But a majority of the women do that.
I think the majority of our women think we have an expectation that's set in our brain to live upon a standard of living that is not realistic for our people. Our people own 1% of the wealth in this country. It's 1.
But we spend the most.
We spend the most, and only 1% of our people own that 1% of our wealth. So we're not having real financial conversations, even when we're dating people. We're not having
But
real
see, that's the thing. Most people feel like it's so uncomfortable to have the finance conversation. I've dated guys where I be like, you know, once we get to
you should never feel like
you
it's
should never
uncomfortable.
I mean,
It's an uncomfortable situation to have that conversation. Because if you don't have that conversation,
that's
you damn near gonna put yourself in a whole
situation.
Or somebody else gonna put you in a hole.
Talk about it.
Especially if you didn't come from a
And
hole.
speaking of that, let's think about this right here, okay? There's a such thing called your thought process. You unconsciously think things when you see a person.
Right.
You see a man walk around with a Gucci outfit on. You think this is a better individual for me because he has money. When you don't know what that man did to get that money, he might not even have a fucking house to live in. But guess what? You jump on that person quick before you jump on the individual that's walking around raggedy and baggy as hell. But let's think about white people. Let's think about white people. Rich white people, man, they be walking around Jesus sandals and you don't even know. But we look at black men, we expect that rich black man to be fashionable, to have all this going on.
And I hear women.
That's not my attraction though, and I can say this out loud and stand on this. If you have on too much, like if you speak all the time, you're talking about name brand 10 times out of 10, you don't even have the money to equate what the name brand really costs. I need to see you in rare form. I won't need for you to know that you believe enough in yourself. What you have on your back does not make you who you are. I'm not attracted to what I see you put on. Because you eventually got to take it off, right?
All right, let's get on this aspect then, okay?
And when I take it off,
oh my God.
Let me dig a little deeper.
See, there you go, boyfriend vibes. Boyfriend vibes. There you go.
My problem is, what you say is imagery. We got to stop the imagery, but both sexes have that same imagery problem. We as men overlook all kinds of good women. Like I don't want to hear no dude say there's no good women out there. Cause yesterday she just.
But on the same aspect,
she's not in the body that you wanted to be in. That's it.
No. What it is that there are good women out here. Y'all have them, but you don't see them until they're gone.
No. It's
vice versa.
No, you see them. You see the good woman. You know she ain't. Everybody say,
but see, that's what I'm saying.
Girl
you
is the
see
girl
her,
for me,
but you truly don't see her until she's gone.
Come on, bro.
Let me get
the girl in your inbox that'll love you for life. She don't look like
the imagery, you men, well not you men as in you all, but men do have certain, like they'll put a whole bunch of regulations that these women got, she got to have this type of hair, who got to be this. Yes.
Let's get on this aspect.
Our list would never compare to y'all's because I want to do
I got a question. So you're not a guy. How do you know what my list is?
Because that's what you all perpetuate oftentimes.
It was y'all. We talking,
It's
you and I.
oh,
You
right,
and
I
right
don't
now.
know what your
What am I
preference
into?
is.
What is my
I don't know.
I'm
Big
here
fat,
for it.
short, or tall.
I have no
What would you think by
idea.
looking at me?
I can't.
What type of woman would you imagine that my wife is? I'm married, so what type of woman would you imagine my wife is right now?
Probably a pretty brown woman.
Think so?
Yeah,
Right.
but I don't know.
Right, you're not sure.
Right.
Is she natural? Does she have lashes? Does she have nails? Does she have blue hair? Or she
He
natural?
said blue hair.
It is blue.
You
That's
know
what
that
I
blue
love.
room y'all be
No,
getting
yeah,
around
but you
here
know what I'm
and
saying?
stuff.
So,
That's the hair
so like when you meet me, you can't tell me how I feel about you physically because you don't know me, you don't know my culture, you don't even know where I'm from. So a lot of, even like basic attraction, what guys are attracted to, regardless of your financial position or your work life, whatever, you have to give me some feminine energy. You know,
Right.
that's what we're missing. So when you hear guys talking about the women who are CEOs and handle their business, they can do this, that, and the other.
But
You
they
still got
still
to give
have
me.
that feminine energy.
You still got to give me. No, wait now, because we got a lot of, the whole I don't need a man is out there.
Ooh, and
Nah,
it's
And
so
Trey
rough.
was just talking
We
about
were
it
just talking- I was
until
guilty.
she needs a
I've
man to
been
come
there.
over and change the light bulb.
Or
Something
figure it
that's
out.
right.
I was
Something
so serious,
called-
I figured it out. I'm
Get
not
them
going
tires
to
changed.
Get them
I
tires
want
changed.
to
Get
change
them
my
cars.
mind. Figure it out.
Great.
Man,
I-
you
To
can't
what,
do it
to
all.
what he is making mention of years ago, because my dad was strongly in my life. That's what you told. Look how much he tried to do, blah 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 blah. So you can do it on your own. You ain't gonna need no man. Once I started putting it in action, he started to see exactly what it was that I was doing. And he was like, "No, come here, girl.
Yeah, slow down.
You are not to demasculate nobody. I don't care how powerful you are. Your balls are ovaries. You need
Right.
to sit back. Even sometimes when you know, I act like I don't know.
Right.
I can put air on my own tire. I
Right.
drive 200 miles. Say, hey, that car needs her hand the tire. I had to sit there. Hey, what about that gas tank? It's stuff I could have
Right.
done, but I'm learning too. Like,
Come
no,
on,
I'm
just
just
calm
because I
down
can do
and-
it.
yeah.
But
And
we
then-
But
have
Miss
to
Tree,
be
let's
given,
touch
but we
on
have
this,
to be
Miss Tree.
given the chance to do that because I've been in situations where I've attempted that to allow my husband
Right.
to be the man,
Right.
and if he don't do it, I'm not gonna keep sitting there waiting.
But-
for you.
but-
But hold on. Let's think about
That's
it.
different,
I
though.
agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You think you
Yeah.
said you had
I
your
agree.
father in your life to teach you those type of things. There are not many women out here that have their fathers they like to
Not
teach
no
them
more.
that. And guess what? That's where they start getting that independent woman at. And when you start getting an independent woman, you don't look for no man that can do stuff like that. The first thing you're looking at a financial standpoint of how you can take care of me. I can do all the other shit
Well,
myself.
hold on.
And
See,
then with
that's
the
the problem.
fathers and the men too, not to pitch you off. This is where too we need to make sure that we're advocating for father figures in not just men life,
Yeah.
but women life. Because a lot of people think that my mom and dad are still married. My folks been divorced since I was 3,
Right.
and up until now, and I'm 41. My dad is heavily involved in my life, so it doesn't mean that just because people separate either you have a broken household, men too with other relationships. You got to be there so that these women know what to expect.
But let's be honest about that though.
Yeah.
A lot of these women don't want no men in their child's life.
Hold on.
That's
hold on.
No, okay.
No, that's not true.
Wait a minute.
That's not true.
Wait a minute. So, I was
that's not
So listen,
He's correct.
first of all, number one, people pickers are broken. That's your number one problem.
People's what?
Your picker.
Please explain that.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yes.
your,
Go ahead and get it
your
with that.
arrow
That.
that points to say, "Do-do-do-do-do."
I'm
this is the person that I'm going to procreate with
Yeah.
or
okay.
marry.
Oh yeah, we just
Your
went down
pickers are broken.
anything.
Yeah.
Because see, if you want certain aspects, he done displayed these characteristics before. She done displayed them. Picker broken. But my problem is, for the longest time in my life, was I was a dude that had no kids. Right? So I didn't want to deal with no woman with no
With
kids.
children.
That shit ain't realistic, boy.
Not now.
Let me tell you
Not
something, man.
now.
Right.
What?
I was raised by a
That
single
ain't
mother
realistic.
from when I was 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing about that, I'm gonna disagree because I seen a single mama do it, so I didn't mind having a woman with no. Cause I didn't have my first child till I was 31 years old, and because I watched my mama struggle like that, but men came in my mom's life. One thing I say about my mom, she done brought 2 men in my life, and both of them men were father figures to me. So guess what that taught me? Okay, this is what a father figure is supposed to be like. When I got that little girl, the first thing I started doing is the things that I saw them do for me.
And I respect that, but from a brother from this is the conversation that, and you may have had, or maybe not, because your aspect is different. But the conversation from a lot of single men who have no kids is,
You don't know where to start.
That's extra
you know what I'm saying?
responsibility.
Like, that's an extra responsibility.
Right.
First of all, you even a good mother. You know what I'm saying? How do you treat your child, first of all? Second of all, what is the involvement with the baby's father?
Father with the
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because is this a man that I can actually have a conversation with? Is he present? Is he here?
Can we sit down and break bread together?
Right.
If I'm buying the Jordans, the medicine, the schoolwork, helping with all of these things, do I have the ability to discipline this little one?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
so let me touch bases on something because I'm and Aisha, you know, I'm in that situation now. So I have two boys, 16 and 9, and my thing is I've been single 12 years, like not married. I'm very, very careful of who I allow in my son's life. I have to be. I feel like it's like super, super important because I've had situations where I thought, my last situation, I really thought he was going to be a father figure, but one day, and this is the straw that broke the camel's back for me, is when he told me, based on his last relationship, where he had helped raise this young lady's children, and she hurt him, he wasn't going through that with me. Even though I wasn't even showing him no types of her.
Yeah.
He said, I will never do that. And I will never be like that with your son. And after that, I said, oh, well, this is a deal breaker for me, amongst other things. That was it. Because I come as a package deal. And I have boys. I don't have girls.
So does that go into like nowadays where you got boyfriend, girlfriend going on for a lot longer versus people getting married? It's a lot more divorces going on right
I think it's a
now.
part of it.
And so if you go get on the boyfriend vibes,
Yeah.
I definitely want to talk about that
You
too.
should have so much to
I am a specialist.
Oh,
at
giving
boyfriend.
folks boyfriend vibes.
I am. I would do everything that you probably want in a boyfriend and still won't be committed only because I still don't feel 100% about it.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question right here. Speaking on that, okay?
Hey.
Like you said, you had a guy that you and him were dating,
Uh-huh.
and that guy you want him to be a father figure, but he would not be one. So what do y'all women think about this right here? Are you single until you're married, or are you single until you're in a particular relationship?
I believe you're single until you are.
Is there a timeline?
For me, there's no timeline. When it's time and it's time to happen, it's gonna happen. But at the same time,
If I'm talking to you,
Yeah.
I'm talking to you. I already just
I don't date
I
around.
can
I
barely
just
keep up with all
don't.
my shoes in the closet when they separate from the box.
For real.
Of people, and then I gotta satisfy you, give you energy, make this one feel like they 80% of my life. The other must get like 5, 10, 15. That's too much math. So if I'm dealing with you,
I feel
I'm
like
dealing with you. Got time.
it's
there
different
are
for women than
relationship
men. though.
levels. Definitely.
There are. There's
You
levels
have-
to this ish.
You have your talking stage, you have your where we have, but see, people don't understand because you have to define it. I don't care if you and I have been around each other every day for the last 6 weeks. If we've not had a conversation
talk
that
about it.
specified that you and I are in a relationship, we just kick it.
Oh, I love you.
We
Alright,
just
well,
chilling.
I love you.
We just chilling.
Well,
And don't get mad if you see me out with
No.
somebody else.
Because it hasn't been clarified.
Wait, hold up.
Be out with him and I'll be over later.
I just had a
Right.
situation though. I just had a situation, and then she felt like she said I'm wasting my time. I'm like, but you didn't even know that's gonna work out or not. So I hate. when
Well, how long were
But
y'all in this
hold
situation?
on. Here's my thing right here, right?
It's always that's.
And I'm gonna stop my women like this. If you out there giving that woman boyfriend vibes, she has the right to understand and think that you are in a fucking relationship
Yeah,
with
you're
her.
right, bro.
That
You
part,
can't do
you
that.
can't.
You can't sit there and give her some boyfriend vibes and she can't expect that's what's going on.
Right.
But
Talk about it.
communication,
That's
like
not
I
communication
said,
that you
It's
need.
too confusing,
That's
bro.
self-spoken.
It's too confusing.
See,
And see, then the thing about it is, though, is
Communication.
women are naturally emotional. You
Yeah.
guys are rational.
No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
No,
disagree with you on that, and I'm gonna tell you
No.
why you finish your statement.
No, not all men are emotional.
They
Not
say,
all men are
men
emotional.
say they aren't emotional, but guess what? And excuse my
What I'm
word,
saying-
you go out there and give your body to somebody else, that man gonna be mad.
No,
Am
no.
Yes,
But
he
what
is.
I'm saying,
I right?
what I'm
He
saying
gonna
is,
be mad. He
Wait,
gonna be mad.
wait, you gonna wait. You gonna be mad even if you have not defined what we are?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know why.
Well, I
I ain't much of a
I need a reason as to why you're going to be upset.
Since you want a reason
Yes,
why,
come on with it.
can a female choose her husband? Yes or no?
No,
Right. Why not?
because it's for you to do the choosing.
Right. Because you'll never know how I see you.
Right.
Now, within that time period, we could be talking, dating, kicking it, whatever. Defined, undefined. The how you do certain things dictates how I see you. Now,
Okay.
if I see you in that way, like, well, she just running fast and loose, I might not ever see you as my wife.
Darius, I'm gonna disagree with you because what we just talked about, that women are the new men. These women are here proposing to the men they want to be their
For
man.
real. I didn't see the girls that
Hold on. I can speak to that. My very first, when I got married,
Wait, she proposed
my
to
wife,
you?
yes.
She got it out on her knees. She had the ring in the ring box.
My wife asked me to marry her, bro.
And what did you say?
Yeah.
That's a grown man situation. That's a grown man situation.
That didn't make you feel a certain type of way because your wife asked you to marry her. That didn't make you feel any
I mean, I was young. I felt like I was a kid then.
Oh, okay, you were young.
Oh my God.
Okay.
But you said you were young.
I said, I'm
You
flying.
said you were
My
young,
girl
but
asked me, so I want to marry you.
Now, as an older man now, if a woman proposed to you, how would that, like, you wouldn't feel?
I mean, I don't look, all that, listen here, all for me, because I need to like you, man. I don't care about what other people telling me. I don't need to love you. I need to like you.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I don't give a fuck if you propose to me. If I was gonna marry you,
I'm
like,
sorry.
I'm like, damn,
I can't
baby.
do it. I can't
Beat me
see
to it.
You
myself.
beat me to it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
I would say.
Let's do it together.
I'm like,
But see, that goes back to what you just said.
let's do it together. Let me get
Women are taking role of men now.
They
No,
don't take a role
and that's
of men.
one role I would never take
Say
from a
this,
man.
right?
No,
Hold on, but let me tell you why.
no. First of all, you're gonna have to choose me to be your wife.
True.
You're gonna have to come to me and say, "Will you marry me?" Because I feel like if I go to a man, I ask a man to marry me. First of all, it was never on your agenda to come and ask me to marry you.
But say,
I'm not gonna do
but
that.
say you had
Then
that conversation though.
and then I
Say
feel
you
like
had
as a
that
woman, I'm
conversation.
degrading
Please
myself.
let my girl finish.
I'm
this,
degrading
'cause I love
myself
it.
if I go to a man and ask him to marry me. That's not my role.
So is there a time limit to it? You're saying it's a time limit?
Now, before I got married, yes, I told my husband that if you did not propose in this certain amount of time, then we're just gonna be it.
But how long had y'all been together?
Yeah,
We've
once
been
you do
together
that, it's
5
already
years.
over. Once you do that, it's over.
Okay.
Now we've been together 5 years as a total, but before we got married, we was together 4.
You don't think that's too long?
Can I ask a question?
What?
The be with somebody for 4 years.
No,
And wait
but
for
see, here's the thing though. When you're
Nah,
talking
it's
about
not
marriage and you talking
That's a
about
long
moving
time,
forward in
bro.
it, you have to make sure for a man and woman, you got to make sure that that's what you want to do.
But how do you know that's what you want to do though?
You'll know.
Oh, you'll know.
You know,
You'll know.
you know,
You'll
you know.
You
Because
know.
one thing about it, going into first of all, when you in boyfriend girlfriend stage, that's a stage. When you engaged, that's a whole other stage.
Ooh, yes,
So in that engagement stage, you see a lot of shit that may make you say, "Fuck this, I don't even want to get
So let me ask you a question then.
Mm-hmm.
We call a thing called shacking up.
I never shacked up
Do
with
you
my
think
husband.
that you should stay with a person before you marry them?
I believe that
You think you should stay with a
once
person
you
before you
get
marry them?
engaged,
I think a living
once you get
girlfriend,
engaged, you
but
can do
not.
that.
Like, we
me and my
together,
husband-
we should stay together.
No, me and my husband didn't live together before we got married.
But then you can't see a lot of stuff that you need to see because when you stay with
I
somebody,
have a reason why.
you learn a lot of stuff.
You
That
learn
you
how
didn't
to
know.
live.
I mean,
And
that's
that's
true.
big
You
though.
need to have your
I mean,
own
that's
space,
true.
dog,
Yes,
as
yes.
a man,
Okay,
bro.
okay.
Yes, you
Trina,
do.
touch.
Once you live with a woman, it ain't your space no more, bro.
No, I didn't forget. So back to the point where the woman proposing to the man proposing to the woman. Have it ever occurred that the woman may have thought that she's seeing husband expectations in this particular person, versus when the man says, "Okay, I didn't propose to you because I don't see wife in you."
Women
We have to
sometimes
also
see
see that too.
Women see that
True.
sometimes based on like new experiences too. Like
That's
automatically,
true.
when they see something new, they never been been involved with, been introduced to. It's automatic like,
But I think
this the
that
one.
That's also
We as a
regional
culture-
because women in the South want
That's
to get
why I
married.
get boyfriend vibes because
People
Why
up
you
north,
going to women in the
It's
South?
it's the truth.
It's
Everybody
different.
from up north, when they come down here, the first thing they say is, "Why all these girls want to get married?" That's the first thing my homeboy said.
First of all, hold on.
Not all of
Cause
y'all.
she from
There
Chicago.
are no absolutes. You from Chi-Town.
I am.
Yeah,
So,
you
and I've been married twice.
Me too, unfortunately.
So you understand what I'm saying?
Wait, did she propose
Go back
too?
to that stage.
No, I proposed the second time.
Okay.
Okay. So you 1-1 on the proposal. All right.
Okay.
I proposed the
Touch
second
on it,
time.
Sheena. What you got to say?
About what, baby?
Anything?
She drinking Gatorade.
Oh, she over here.
I feel but there are stages like y'all was saying, and maybe just because of where I've been in my life, but if me and my man and you wanting me to follow you, I'm gonna need to stay with you a little bit, homeboy, because I need to see how you are for real. I'm sorry, I can't go into that blind anymore.
What about a live-in girl?
I'm cool with that. No, I mean
That's
like,
the same
I'm
thing.
cool.
You're staying
Because
with
if
it.
it don't work
But you
out
off and
before
on.
we get
Because I
married,
still got
I'd
my
rather
place.
find out before I get married again to a man, and then we get married. Now we living together, and I don't like you. And I'm trying to cut you in your sleep. I don't want to do
Can I
that
say
to
something
nobody.
that we don't talk about either? Is like even in the past, you see your grandparents that have been married for a long, long time.
Yep.
But we don't discuss your aunties and your uncles that you got 36 of. You know why? Because they did not live together. I didn't really like you. I was really forced to marry you, and now that we're married and now
I'm
we're living
stuck.
together, I'm stuck.
I'm
So
stuck.
today, I'm gonna roll my ass over to the other street, and I'm gonna have 7 kids over here, 7 over
Jeez.
there.
You right though,
That's
because
how they
and that's so
That's
funny
what
you
it
should
was.
say that
That's what it is.
because
It's a
I,
fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, but we ain't
yeah, that's so funny that you say that.
We're not, but we tend to mold a
Mold
lot of things
into-
around.
yes.
You just said something about the men being the breadwinners,
Yeah,
right?
'cause
Back then.
I have a
versus
family member
now.
like that.
That's because times have changed.
Yep.